Good day, students. Today we start with a new employability skill under information technology, that is communication skills. In our last classes we had learned about self-management skills, green skills and entrepreneurial skills. Today we are going to start with communication skills. So let us now look at what actually is a communication. So communication is the exchange of information by signs and signals. Speaking, writing or some other media or a means to is called as communication. So exchanging of information is using any of the signs and signals or even by speaking or reading, writing is called as communication. Sending and receiving and understanding the message or the information. Developing interpersonal skills and to express effectively with maximum efficacy is what is called as communication. So basically we need to send a message to the receiver or an information to the receiver, and how we do it effectively and efficiently using the communication means is what we are going to learn under communication skills. Now, there is something called as a communication cycle. So, let us understand that. Communication cycle is the process by which a message is sent to an individual. It passes through a chain of recipients. The timing and effectiveness of the communication cycle is based on how long it takes for feedback to be received by the initial sender. So, when a particular cycle is there, that is a sender sends a message through some particular media and it is received by the recipient. Now the amount, how effective the communication cycle is depends upon how fast the feedback comes from the person who is receiving the message. So let us look at the different aspects of a communication process cycle. So the components of a communication cycle are: first is the sender, a person or an entity who originates the communication. So a person who sends the message or the organization that sends a message is the originator of the communication. Then there is the actual message, that is the information which the sender wishes to send or convey. Encoding the message, that is how the sender is going to bring the message, send the message to the appropriate person, is what is the encoding. That is whether he will write it or send it by gestures or voice record it or send it by some other media, that is called as encoding. The channel through which the message is sent is the next aspect, that is how this message that is encoded is going to be actually sent, whether it is by written letter, by email, etc. Next is the receiver. The person who actually receives, to whom the message is supposed to be sent to, is called as the receiver of the message. The next is decoding. That means how the receiver interprets and understands that message is called as decoding. And finally, the feedback. That means the actual receiver's response to the message. So these are basically the components of an entire communication cycle. I hope you have understood it. That is the sender, the message, the encoder, the medium through which you send it, the receiver, the decoding, and the actual feedback of the message. Next is, let us look at what are the different types of communication. So communication can be of four types, basically: verbal communication, non-verbal communication, visual communication, and written communication. So these are the basic four ways in which we can communicate to our messages to each other. Now, what is verbal communication? Verbal communication is the use of language to transfer or share information by speaking or sign language. This is one of the most important types, often used during presentations, video conferences, phone calls, meetings, or one-on-one conversation. So most of the time our communication with people are through a verbal media. So whenever and it is through a language that we share that information, or even it could be sign language that we say, or shoo, or come, or go, like this, whatever it is a verbal communication whereby we are speaking something along with gestures. It is used mostly when we are doing one-on-one communication in meetings, video conferences, during classes, during presentations, conferences. All this is verbal communication. Now, what are the advantages of verbal communication? First is, verbal communication saves a lot of time because it can be quickly understood and said. It saves money because there is no need of paper or any flyers or spellings, nothing like that. So it is very, very quickly. You are just speaking out, so it requires no effort or money. Feedback is very quick because the receiver at that any point of time, if he doesn't understand, can immediately stop you and give the feedback of that message, and also the sender can give immediate feedback. The receiver can when the sender is sending it, looking at the expression of the receiver, he can understand whether the receiver has actually understood the message or no. So it's a very convenient method all over globally to communicate with each other. Next is, it is ease of preparation. So oral communication is the easiest way because you do not need any particular preparations, exclusive preparations to be done while giving an oral communication to one another. It's just like normal speaking, it is a part of your routine. So these are some of the advantages of verbal communication. But there are certain disadvantages also to this verbal communication. The ease with which we do verbal communication, it comes with a lot of disadvantages. First is, there is chances of distortion of the message. So whenever I'm speaking, suppose somebody speaks very fast or some speaks slow or some is not legible, so there is a chance that the message actually which is meaning to be told to another person gets distorted. Now if the message is very long, that means if some information is very long and which needs to be conveyed, then verbal communication is not an easy way to communicate it for long messages. Sometimes when I'm communicating something, the most important part of the message may get lost in some irrelevant information which is put on along with the message. So when we are speaking, so we may beat around. Some people have the habit of beating around the bush. They will not come to the actual point. They will talk about all other things other than the main topic. So irrelevant information can seep into a message. So that is another disadvantage. There can be misunderstandings, especially when people of different languages communicate, or if there is a language barrier among communication, then it becomes very difficult because there can be misunderstandings in the actual communication. And also, suppose there is a person who does not understand, for example, on high level government organizations, when there is or even in places where two people do not understand the language, then they might need a third person as an interpreter or a translator to translate the messages to each other. This generally happens during diplomatic ties with countries among each other. So you need to appoint people who are translators or interpreters. So it comes with a particular cost. So these are some of the disadvantages of verbal communication. So with this, we end today's session. In our next session, we are going to learn about non-verbal communication, body language, and the factors that affect communication in a workplace, and what is grammar and how it plays an important part in communication. Thank you.